Welcome to Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. I'm your host, Jane Klaus. Well, July is National Grilling Month, so we're pulling out the grill and getting tips to help you up your grilling game. But before you toss those burgers on the grill, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show. We've got tips from a barbecue pitmaster to fire up your grilling skills, and summer entertaining advice from celebrity chef Carla Hall. Plus, we take a trip down the iconic Route 66. That and much more coming up on Creative Living. Summer and grilling go hand in hand, and if your grilling game needs a little work, well, guess what? We have an expert here to give us some tips. Joining us today is Johan Magnuson, the owner of Big Swede BBQ. Hi, Johan.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. I love grilling, and I especially love getting grilling tips from you. But first, before we get started, explain to us what Big Swede BBQ is all about.
Well, Big Swede BBQ, it's really an outdoor cooking company that's trying to help people to cook better food in their backyard. So that's really the goal of Big Swede BBQ. Teaching people to have fun cooking using their grills and their smokers.
Yeah, and it should be fun, and there is so much more to cook than just burgers and steak. So when we say the summer is all about grilling, give us the 3 biggest tips that you have to make sure our food tastes good.
I think the most important one is to become friend with a good meat store or your local butcher shop or something, because the foundational part of good grilling is always to have good ingredients, whether it's meat, seafood, vegetables. So that's where I would start. Then I think it's simple things like season well in advance, so you allow the seasoning to really blend with the meats, and then learn how your grill works, because every grill is slightly different, and that's what people always ask me. So what's the best way to cook this? And I always say it depends a little bit on what kind of grill you have, how hot it cooks, if you can infuse it with smoke. So learn how your grill, the strength and the weaknesses of it, and I think those are 3 good things to start with.
Let's talk about mistakes, because there are mistakes when it comes to grilling. What's the biggest mistake that you see when somebody goes out and starts grilling?
I think the biggest mistake is that they cook to time. Because a recipe says this will take half an hour to cook, and it all depends on what kind of grill you have. It depends a lot on what cut of meat it is. So get a good thermometer and use that, and start to learn how to cook to an inner temperature when the meat is supposed to be ready. I think that's one. The second one that I would add is just not allowing the food to sit afterwards and just let it rest for a while. A good brisket, you could rest for 2-3 hours without a doubt. Hold off a little bit, then you will have a better result.
Your cookbook won the best cookbook for the National Barbecue Association. That is so cool.
Yeah, that was a fun little, it actually happened during COVID. My wife is a 2-time cancer survivor, and she has a very bad immune system. So we were basically in lockdown for, I would say, almost a year, when we wouldn't go out, we wouldn't meet people. And I was thinking, what do I do? And those are the times when you can sort of retool yourself a little bit. I started working with a program called InDesign, and I thought, well, maybe I should learn by putting together a cookbook. And it was supposed to be like a small project, maybe 40 pages or something like that. And then after the pandemic, 288 pages in color. But yeah, it's been so fun, and people seem to love it, and we're very, very grateful for that.
What can people find? Some of your favorite recipes?
There's a lot of different things. We have divided into regular beef, we have poultry, we have pork, we have seafood, then we have tacos, we have pizza recipes, we have side dishes, because I think side dishes is one of those underappreciated things. A really good side dish can lift any meal to the next level. We have appetizers, and then we have desserts. So there's a little bit for everything. And we took all that stuff out that people don't read anyways and just focused on good recipes.
I love it. And I love just to explore all the different creative ways to be out there grilling and making delicious food. So before we hit the grill, what is your last minute advice for us as grillers?
Experiment, try new things, have fun with it. Don't cook a dish the first time when you have friends over. That's a recipe for disaster. But have fun and experiment. I think that is my biggest. That's what the summer is all about. Having fun with friends and family.
I love it. All right, Johan, you are absolutely the best. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you are still not confident in your grilling skills, you know what? Just head to Big Swede's website. You can get tips there, or you can get some of his rubs, which I'm sure will make all of your dishes just a little bit better. There's nothing more synonymous with summer than ice cream. So we went to Rhode Island to see how one family shop is scooping up this delicious homemade treat.
Hi, I'm Warren Sternberg and we're at Clementine's in Middletown, Rhode Island. My wife and I started Clementine's 6 years ago in East Greenwich. We have 2 locations, so one in East Greenwich and one here on Wave Ave. It's all really fresh. Usually what you're eating is 1 to 2 days old. So we turn it over really quickly. 22 flavors here, about 32 in East Greenwich. So cookie dough is the all-time most popular. So probably 2 to 1 over anything else. Mint Oreo is a really popular flavor. Coffee Heap Bar, chocolate brownie is very popular. Yeah, we kind of stick to the basics and do that, or try to do that really well. So we have a big ice cream batch freezer is what it's called essentially. So it makes ice cream in 5-gallon batches. Any of the bases go right in the machine. So the black raspberry goes right in there, that puree, strawberries go right in the machine. It chills it down in about 10 to 15 minutes and it comes out of that machine as a thick soft serve. So from that thick soft serve, we'll do any add-ins like cookie dough, brownie dough. We mix those in as it's coming out of the machine. We're able to control how things are hand mixed in and really load up on those mix-ins. It's a little more of an art, I guess, to add in the flavors by hand, and the mix-ins by hand. From there, it goes in a deep freezer, which chills it down very quickly. And that's the key to getting creamy ice cream, is to chill it down as quickly as possible. It feels really good and it's really neat to see how it's come together, and that's been one of the best things, is coming in on a busy night and really seeing a lot of smiling, happy faces, and that's what excites us in growing the business as well. That's kind of, I guess, would be our mission statement, is to have everyone leave Clementine's with a smile.
One good way to boost your grilling confidence: buy a meat thermometer. It's going to allow you to cook the perfect piece of meat every single time, whether you want it rare, medium, or well done. But before you call us done, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show. We head down the iconic Route 66 to Oatman to see why it draws millions of visitors, and how a dryer sheet can keep mosquitoes away. Oatman, Arizona was born out of the gold rush in the early 1900s. And today, it's a must-see, quirky town along Route 66.
Oatman, Arizona was a mining town in the early 1800s. It became a big mining community of 3,500 people in 1915. When a guy found $1 million worth of gold at the Moss Mine. And in 1942, this town closed during World War II. And then when Route 66 became the historical trail, that's when this town started to pick back up and rebuild.
Lots of creative people in Oatman. They've got lots of antiques. If you're looking for something oddball, Oatman's the place you're gonna find it. It's a wonderful place to bring kids.
We get over 500,000 people a year through here. And they come from Czechoslovakia, France, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, Netherlands, and they love it because of the way the town is. It looks like it's so rustic and so Western. Well, some of these are still original buildings, mining buildings. They still have the original church. They have the original mine up here where they weighed the gold. People travel a long time, and they're shocked when they come in here, and it's mainly the burros that bring in the attraction for the people. Oatman, Arizona was originally named Black Mountains.
Oatman was named after Olive Oatman. Her Mormon family was coming across the desert.
Her and her sister were captured by the Apache Indians.
They're prisoners for about 4 years.
They then went to Yuma, and then she was traded there for beads to the Mojave tribe, which is the tribe that lives here in this area.
She got tattooed from the next family. They tattooed it, and people like say that it's tattooed for a slave, but it really wasn't. It was to make you part of that family.
When you're coming in to Oatman, you stop at the Cool Springs because they always have entertainment, food, drinks, and then you're coming on over the mountain and you think that it's never going to end coming over that road. And then you come down here and people go, wow, this is here?
Well, I ride my iron horse out of the west, but a place to mess. Through the gates of hell and the heat on my tail, down through the valley of death. Well, I fear no evil, but evil fears me just a little bit. And as the crescent moon, oh, sharpens the tips, wags the hips and licks her lips, come and give me a kiss on Route 66.
It's summertime, and that means a lot of outside time, which can lead to some pretty sticky, messy, and sometimes itchy situations. So these simple life hacks will keep you living smart all summer long. First, those mosquitoes can be really annoying, but you can use dryer sheets to stop the bugs. You see, dryer sheets actually mask the human scent that attracts mosquitoes in the first place. So just put dryer sheets in a cup or decorative flower pot outside, and you'll be bug-free. Now, if you do get bit, you can stop the itch by applying toothpaste. Yeah, toothpaste really helps ease the itch. Just dab a little on the bite and instant relief. Okay, if you're like me, summer is the time for berry picking. And aside from leaving with a bushel of berries, you'll probably also leave with berry-stained fingers. And since soap and water doesn't always do the trick to get rid of the stain, try washing your hands with lemon juice instead. Then wait a few minutes, rinse with warm water, and you've got stain-free fingers. So go ahead, get messy. Enjoy eating a few berries as you go. And speaking of messy, the summertime popsicle treat can leave your Tots fingers stained too. You can use a cupcake wrapper to keep the mess away. Just cut a slit in the bottom and put your popsicle stick through the slit. It keeps that drippy, sticky mess off their fingers, and probably a few t-shirts too. Now, we all know one of the worst parts of summer is getting a sunburn. So a remedy to find relief fast is to put some aloe vera gel into an ice cube tray and freeze it. And when you need it, gently rub the cube on your burnt skin. The cold is soothing on the burn, and the aloe vera will help the healing process and prevent peeling. Just be sure to freeze them ahead of time, just in case you get a little overexposed. And finally, one of the best things about summer is the cookout. And of course, the grill is going to get dirty, but no worries. Aluminum foil can help. Just lay a sheet of aluminum foil over the grates while the coals are still hot and close the lid. And the next time you grill, crumple up the aluminum foil and rub off the burnt bits. It's clean and you're ready for the next barbecue. I love that. And there you have it, a few great creative life hacks to help you enjoy every second of the summer. We know it's so hard to wait for that cheeseburger once it comes off the grill. But hold off, because resting the meat after cooking, about 5 minutes, it's going to allow the juices to redistribute and it's going to make for the perfect bite. So while you're waiting, let's take a peek at what's coming up on the show. Celebrity chef Carla Hall gives us summer entertaining tips. and the one thing you should do before your next road trip. We are so happy to welcome television personality, author, and one of America's most loved chefs, Carla Hall, to the show. Hi, Carla. How's your summer going?
Hi, it is going really well. Right now, I'm at home in Washington, D.C. Whoop, whoop.
And I know you do a lot of traveling, so you must be so happy to be at home. This is peak summer entertaining time. What is your go-to dish for summer entertaining?
So my go-to dish, ratatouille. You see tomatoes in the market, you see squash, you see eggplant, and I know it's not Southern, but it's Southern in France somewhere. And I love it, and I love to do different hummuses. I love doing different pestos. These are all the things that you can make, have them in the fridge. When you're entertaining, I put these things in little bowls, and I have roasted tomatoes, and I have beans tossed with olive oil and herbs, and I put those on a platter with breads and chips and vegetables. So when you have gotten down to the little bits and bobs, you just switch out the bowl. The platter doesn't look all messy, so it is perfect for entertaining.
What is the biggest mistake people make when it comes to entertaining in the summer?
I think everyone is enamored with the grill. Okay. I love the grill, but one of the things, whenever I go to someone's house and I'm like, oh, do I smell the food yet? And I don't smell the food, because they're like, they want to throw the food on the grill when you get there. That is a prepare ahead thing. When I get to your house for dinner, I kind of want to smell the food. There's a timing issue, I think, sometimes with home cooks. So the things that you want to do last minute are like corn. If you want to do something like peaches or some kind of grilled romaine, those are last minute things to do on the grill. Your meat, your burgers, of course, are sort of in the middle there. You don't have to do those way in advance, but the chicken and everything, that needs to be done in advance. And I think people should really think about their timing.
What is the must make from your cookbook for summertime entertaining?
Oh my God. So there are lots of salads, all of the fresh, like anything with tomatoes, green beans, potatoes, cantaloupe. All of those recipes were made in the season. So it is literally all of those summer vegetables, anything with corn, a succotash, it's in there. And those are the things that I think I want you to make for the summer. They're perfect.
Carla Hall, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, if you want more information, just head over to Carla's website. Stick around, we've got much more coming up on Creative Living. A road trip checklist before you head out this summer.
Watch Creative Living only on YourView. Check your local listings for air times.
Before you set out on your adventures this summer, we've got a summer road trip checklist just for you. Auto Trader's executive editor Brian Moody is here to get us ready for our road trip. Hey, Brian.
Hey, thank you for having me. Yeah, people are going to take road trips. I think people want to take road trips because, honestly, they want to just get out. Gas is expensive, of course, but I think people just want to be away. With that in mind, there are a few things to keep in mind when you are on that road trip. The first thing is make sure that your car is properly maintained, that you've been servicing it, And if you need help doing that, there's actually a Kelley Blue Book tool that will help you find what service your car needs at what miles, how much it should cost, that's kind of a cool one, and where you can get that done. In addition, they have a little page that says, here's what all the warning lights mean. So if your warning light's on, it will tell you, oh, it means this, this, and this. So that's the first thing I would do when setting out on a long road trip.
So that's the first thing on our checklist. But you also say we should be prepared for emergencies, correct?
Yeah, so depending on where you live, they may call it something different. The bottom line is just having an emergency road trip kit, an emergency kit in your car. And that might include things like snacks, water. If you live where it's snowy or cold, you might want to include an extra pair of shoes. Because remember, even in the summertime, it can get really cold in the mountains or in the desert. I would include an extra cell phone charger, those detachable kind, but remember to bring a cable for each type of phone. And also bring one of those rechargeable cell phone battery bricks, like that can be portable. Because today, having a cell phone, it's not just a luxury anymore. It's kind of necessary.
Smart. Okay. You're also saying that we need to look for recalls. What does that mean?
So every car has, the government has a system whereby if there are enough defects or enough complaints about a certain car or a feature in a car, the government will issue a recall, or they'll force the manufacturer to issue a recall. Most of them are voluntary. You can go online and you can look up recalls for your car by the VIN. You can also just call your local dealership. And remember, recall repairs are always free.
All right. Now, people who love to take road trips have a lot of different opinions on this next question. And that is, what is the best time to drive?
So the best time to drive for a variety of reasons is whenever it's not the busiest, for example. So when there's a lot of traffic, when it's really crowded, then it's going to be harder on the driver. It's going to be more stressful. But a lot of people also say, I want to drive at night. And that would fit that, right? There's going to be less people out at night. It kind of depends on the individual person, but we tell people not to drive overnight. So if it's starting to get dark, that's probably okay. But look for the least popular times to go. So I would say, for example, early morning is a great time to set out. Don't wait till 10 or 11 a.m. Get up. If you can be on the road by 7, you're going to be happier as a result.
Brian, great advice. Thank you so much. All right, if you want more information, just head to Auto Trader's website. Thanks so much for joining us here on Creative Living. I'm Jane Klaus, and I'll see you next time. Until then, happy growing.